what they are demanding into the corruption of our system. We will expel the rogue actors and corrupt forces from our government. We will expose and very much expose their egregious crimes and severe misconduct, of which was levels you've never seen anything like it. The case against me was bull. That's why I'm so impressed with Judge Cannon in Florida, how strong she was, how she held up. It actually made her more resolute than anything I've seen. I mean, it was amazing because they were hitting her so hard.
The president there giving his vision for the Justice Department during a politically charged, at times vengeful speech at the department's historic Great Hall Friday. Our panel is back with us now. David, was that appropriate, did you think, the president's words and the tone of his speech?
Yeah, listen, Jessica, for a guy who's been persecuted, and I will use that word because for the first 2 years of the Trump administration, I lived every day waiting to get a subpoena from the Department of Justice because of Russiagate, right? Because of some Russia collusion hoax, which the Department of Justice knew or should have known was complete BS. And so many young people serving the administration at their own nickel had to go get lawyers and fight to clear their names of something that never occurred, right? And so, yeah, Donald Trump, I think, has a right to be a little PO'd. If you look what happened to the FBI admits, the IG admits that the FBI persecuted Catholics, persecuted as domestic terrorists, right? They went after Catholics. They went undercover in churches. There's a lot that needs to be answered for. And so, yeah, I think the president has a right to have some indignation in that instance. And I think there's a lot of Americans standing behind them, me number one.
Adrienne, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think it's incredibly inappropriate, Jessica. I mean, there's a separation of powers. The DOJ is supposed to be a separate arm of the administration. That's how it's always been. Yeah, this is a problem. And I think when you look at this politically, I realize that, even Trump says he may run again for president. He can't run for a third term. That is illegal. That is unconstitutional. But if he were to be able to run for a third term, Jessica, when you look at the polling that allowed him to win this last time in the 2024 election, the reason why he won this election is because prices were too high and his numbers on the economy were stronger. When Americans were polled, especially swing voters were polled on, what do you think about Trump trying to seek political retribution on his enemies? How do you feel about that? Those numbers polled very, very low. So this is not good for him. It's not a good look for him. People were voted for him because they were frustrated about high prices. This stuff does not sell with the American people. And it's a huge problem, obviously, for our government and for, the pillars of our government across the board.
Okay, hang on.
Just to be clear, I listened to the speech. I didn't hear him talk about seeking retribution about anybody. I heard him talking about cleaning up some things. I didn't hear him saying, I'm going to go after my political enemies. I didn't hear him talking about the weaponization. To the exact opposite. He said, No, hold on. Listen, let's be fair. You can admit it. You can say he didn't talk about it. He said, we're going to ensure this never happens again to anybody else. And everybody in America should want that to happen. We should want a system of justice that doesn't seek to punish their political enemies. Look, Democrats, in my opinion, thought Donald Trump was so. Listen,
why is he calling out
would you please listen? Just let me finish.
People who have used the rule of law effectively to prosecute Trump. Sure.
Okay, are you done? Are you done? Because what happened is your party found Donald Trump so repulsive that they decided to bend the law and do whatever they could to go after him because he was too dangerous to have in there. So they found all these charges. They fabricated all these charges. They went after him. They threw everything they could after him to stop him, and they couldn't. They got thrown out. Case after case after case got thrown out because they're bogus. So that's what happened. So I'm hopeful that this administration and every future administration takes heed to what President Trump just said in the Department of Justice, and we never see that happen again. We never see the FBI going after religious groups, ever. It's terrible.
David,
I'm just going to, history, David, but why do you think that?
I'm going to pause for 1 second because we do have some breaking news. Just hang on with us for 1 second because we are getting news that Trump has invoked the sweeping wartime authority to target members of a Venezuelan gang, and we're going